How's it going, everybody? Welcome to Active Reload. Tonight, as always, we have the same crew with Fatal Strike coming back to us.
What
Also,
up?
we have Arctic and Immortal Spawn. You guys know them very well.
Hello.
Tonight, we're going to be covering the wish list as it was finally submitted, put in. It was up on the forums, been a lot of views, a lot of talk about it. People are pretty excited. They like it. We're going to talk about things that can be done for it, how it can help Judgment, and then later on, we're going to talk about the numbers of Judgment right now and how that's going to affect all that we're trying to plan out right now. So, Fatal Strike, you can get that going because you were pretty much running the wish list and put it all together. So go ahead.
All right. Well, first of all, nice to see you all again. Rob, Kendall, Cream. It's been a while. So
What
it's been
up?
like 2 week. It's been a 2 week, 3 week maybe hiatus that I've been pretty much gone. So basically, what happened was everybody knows that I did an 800 person census. I took in a bunch of emails. Kendall gave me links to all of his YouTube comments so I could check them out. I read all those. Cream hooked me up with some emails. I checked out those. I got emailed, I don't know, maybe close to 500 emails, read all those. And then we basically compiled a giant wish list. So we told you guys a little bit about it before. Um, Now what I'll do is I'll post in the chat for you guys the link to the wish list. You guys can go check it out. But actually, this is like one of the first times ever that Rack completely posted something on the Epic forums that just gives everyone everything about everything that's been going on. So there's a link on the forums. You guys can go check it out. I think the thread has already, I don't know, 15,000, 16,000 views, and it's extremely positive. I've been like researching a lot to see what players have been saying. A lot of rifle players have been commenting on it. Like, basically, it's like the first time I've ever been in the forums and reading the forums, and I'm not seeing everyone fighting. It's like one of the first times I'm not seeing that. So it is really nice. It seems pretty unanimous that people, like most of the things on the list, which is fantastic. In regards to the list itself, you guys can check out all the details there. I won't go through all the details of the wish list, but the brief overview, just like quick analysis, is just you got three different things we did. So like we did a current topic, like the complaints for each topic, the analysis of each topic, and then we also did like the solutions for each topic. It was broken down into a total of 8 topics. The 8 topics started off with one was maps, content, and game types. So we talked about the new game type, which we'll go into later today, that we were suggesting for them to put into the game. The melee was the second one, matchmaking and creating incentive to play ranked, and just making quick match better so that if you want to drop in or drop out, you could do that. And if you want to play ranked and have incentive and just a reason to keep going, like you have that as well. We went into weapon balancing, spawn weapons, power weapons, just the whole 9 yards. There's a chart on there, goes over something called ITPK. It's the individual time per kill. It's like a formula I calculated to figure out how much time it takes for each weapon if you have perfect accuracy. Of course, this isn't accounting recoil and things like that, just damage properties it takes to kill someone. So it goes over all of that. That's all in there. Grenade balancing, audio in game, all those issues was that was 5 and 6. 7 was all the glitches in the game that you guys submitted, and then 8 just went over some basic stuff like how to balance. Is the final suggestions how to balance like domination, how to balance like the spectator mode and make it better. Kill cams, whatever you want, all that stuff included. And then the last thing was like a theater mode, even though that's probably not possible right now. So that's all the basics of the wish list. It's been extremely positive, and yeah, I'm pretty excited to see you know how pumped up the community is about it. But the biggest thing right now is, which I guess we'll talk about now, is what's Epic going to do about it, because we honestly don't know. It's in their hands right now. So
Yeah,
I guess I'll just leave it off with that.
yeah. I love the wish list. I thought it was all put down pretty well. I didn't really see any problems with it. I liked it, and I love what Epic's doing right now, coming to us. Asking what we can do to help. But it's really scary times looking at everything. I
Yep.
mean, what I've been putting out there, what we've all been putting out there since we opened that box was we need content right now. Not in a month, not in 2 months. We need it now. But I know that's impossible.
Right.
Yeah, it needs to happen ASAP. I feel like in regards of content, we need that game type, that single elimination objective game type. We need that because that would balance out the maps, allow them to use them much more. That has to happen. That's like That's priority one, along with new maps. We definitely need them. So we got to have maps that are some of them symmetrical, obviously, and just some of them that can be used like multi-purpose. Like if we get a bomb game type, if that's what it is, then they got to be able to work with bomb and maybe dom or bomb and exe, whatever it is. But that it's important. That's like the number one priority. If we don't get that, it's going to be extremely hard to push judgment. It's going to be very difficult, especially competitively of all places. Without even talking about the issues and low numbers online right now.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
regardless
I
of
mean,
what comes, sorry, Cal. Regardless
go
of what
ahead.
comes with the, if this doesn't happen for Judgment or if it's too late. I mean, the wish list was something that definitely needed to happen. It's definitely, positive overall. So basically, no matter what comes of it, our feedback is there. It's documented, and if it's too late for this game, then the next game better be the best Gears of War we've ever played in our lives because it's all there. So no
Yeah,
Yeah,
problem.
that's
Yeah.
that's exactly what I was going to hit on. It's really overwhelming to see so much positivity on the Epic forums. Being like a long-standing member and seeing something like that on Gears at least, where everyone's like, "Yep, yep, yep. Okay, I've changed out a little bit, but yep, yep, yep." Like it's crazy to see that many people agree with it. And then, those are the same people that have, for the most part, been on the forums and in Epic's ear for the longest amount of time. So what's really surprising is that, we put out this list, and it's basically what people have been saying for ages. And I talked about this shortly before we went live, and it's really mind-boggling to me that Epic could be so amiss from what the community expects from them and what they're doing right now. So I can only hope that this wish list, exactly what Rob said, is like, if they can't get it in for Judgment, they better make sure the next Gears of War game is the absolute best thing that we have ever played in our lives. Like, it just needs to be amazing. And I hope they take the time and effort to make sure that the multiplayer aspect of it is leaps and bounds above some of the predecessors. So either way, like, I am so happy to see that wish list has been put out there, and a lot of people agree with it. And I'm really anticipating some type of positive like influence on Epic's part from that wish list that results in some type of tangible tasks that we get, whether it be new content that we all want, flashback stuff, or just some general weapon balancing and matchmaking. Obviously, that's a big one, but I just would like to see something done about it quickly.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, if anything's gonna happen with his wish list, it needs to happen now. Stuff needs to start getting put in right away. Anything that's gonna help the game. But obviously, the biggest killer is content, and we're gonna have to wait for that, and that's gonna hurt a lot because we already know the numbers are low. But I really think this is gonna be something towards the future Gears. They're gonna do what they can with Judgment. What they have the resources for, but I don't think it's gonna be enough. So I'm really hoping this is kind of a lesson for the next Gears of War to take this wish list and really implement it and do everything that needs to be done so Judgment doesn't happen again.
yeah. There's a couple other things like in regards to what they can take from the wish list. There's some things that are very easy for them to do because basically, from my understanding, I can't say I'm 100% positive on this, but I believe Epic has about a 2 to 3 week time window before their contracts are going to be completely up with Microsoft. So they have a very limited amount of time right now to get this work done so that they could push a last DLC. You know what I mean? Like one big push, like DLC and a title update. In regards to the title update, some things for them aren't hard to fix. For example, grenade balancing, that's not too difficult. They could get that done pretty quickly. The Lancer balancing, the Nasher balancing, the power weapon balancing, that's not too hard for them either. They can easily get that done. Fixing the melee is very small because I think all we asked for in the solutions that they haven't done already, because they did most of this already, was just like a slight delay after shooting before you can melee, so that you can't reverse two pieces as much. That's it. So those three things aren't difficult for them to do. There's also a thread up on the Epic forum, since I've been reading it a lot, that says that a lot of people, I think it's over 800 people, want the stim grenade removed from everything. Like, and I think the next highest, hold on, I'll even look it up real quick. Take me 2 seconds to find
Hmm.
it. On when you bring up Judgment multiplayer and you scroll down to the poll, 2 seconds. Claim comment, I know. I'll get it for you real quick. Sticky frags, no, it's right over here. Where's that poll? Test your thoughts. Rifle loadouts. Nope. Nope. It's on the next page. 2 seconds, guys. I'll have it. 1 second. Boom, boom, boom. There you go. Thoughts on the stim grenade. Okay. Yeah, here, check this out. Okay. So when you look at the poll, there's 864 votes, 75.0% of the population out of 1,151 voters. So 864 out of 1,151 all want the stim grenade removed from everything. And then the next highest is, like don't want to vote. Like that's 145. And then below that is, get rid of the stims in some multiplayer game types and some not. That's 105. And then, leaving them in quick matches like 37. 75% of the people on the Epic forums that voted to just get rid of the stim and get it out of the game. They don't like it in Gears, period. That's a pretty crazy statistic and pretty surprising, to be honest, in my point of view. Like, I mean, me personally, I wasn't a big fan of the stim, but just to see that many people, pushing for it, that's pretty crazy.
Yeah, the thing is, I love the idea of the stim grenade. I do. I like medics being in a game. I like that whole class role, because that's what they were trying to do with Judgment, push classes. But they did it completely wrong, and it did not work at all.
Yeah.
And they just did the stimnade wrong, because as we see, there's a lot of problems with it, and there's nothing that really counters it, because, the one thing we thought was going to counter it doesn't. The ink grenade,
yeah. Ink doesn't counter.
Yeah.
Unless you sit in the ink for the full 10 seconds. That's
Yeah.
the only way. Which no one's going to do.
Nobody's just going to stand there for 10 seconds,
No one's going to stand in an ink for 10 seconds. I mean, your stim lasts for, 3 to 4 right now? Maybe 3, I think it is. Like, no one's going to do that. So, the big problem with the stim, like I said before, it's the fact that it lasts so long. Like, if you got your health back, that would be fine. I don't think people would complain. Or if your teammates got their health back, it wouldn't be a big deal. Like Rob said earlier, he was talking about, like, resetting the situation on previous Active Reload episodes. He was just like, well, if you got someone that throws a stim in your face, just back up, reset the situation, and then, go into the fight the second it wears out. But when it's 3 full seconds and you move as fast as you do in that game and you're already weak, and then they just throw it on the floor, it's not that easy to do. If it just healed you and then you reset the situation, it'd be a lot easier. But without, going too much into it, it's just, I feel like those fixes are the easy ones. I feel like the other two that are so important, they got to condense these playlists, man. It has to happen. Like, whatever they do, if they get rid of DLC, like narrow down VIP, or like I talked to Jim about it, and I was like, yo, just get like the experience rank, have that, and then just have a VIP point system for everyone that has it, and you just get double experience in every playlist. Just do it that way. Then you don't need a VIP playlist. Cut that out. You can cut out the DLC playlist. If you got DLC, you got it. If you don't, then you don't, just have them search, and they can't play with people that have the DLC. That's all. But just condense it the best you can. I also told them that I thought a great idea would be for quick match, just only have it for 2 game types, TDM and FFA. Because what else do people play quick match in? There's not many big numbers for quick in the other game types,
Yeah.
Overall. So just
I think,
condense
I don't know. I've had, I have trouble finding ranked games overall. So
I've
think
been
quick
trying.
matches.
Here lately, I've been trying to get into ranked matches, and it's just taking way too long. So it's like, I don't know what they can do with that. Like, since the introduction of quick match, it's just completely shat all over ranked.
Yeah.
What
They
do?
have no incentives for people to play ranked. So it's like, why do you even have it? Like, if I'm gonna get the same amount of experience, or almost the same amount of experience in quick match, what's the point? Like, I don't know. We've talked about this. Like, we've hammered on this so hard on Gears 3 and here. It's like, why don't they get that? It's like no incentive to play rank match. Just absolutely zero.
The most important thing in multiplayer is designed for people to go in, player versus player, and no matter what way you like it or not, it is somewhat competitive. You know what I mean? Like, you go in there to win. You don't go in there to lose. You got to give people incentives to play ranked. And it's not there in any way, shape, or form.
No,
you
not.
lose more for playing ranked than you gain. You could gain everything in quick match. They have to redevelop this entire system and work with the whole community so that whether it's called ranked or whatever they call it, I don't care what it's called, but there just needs to be incentive to play it. You got to have something.
Yeah, they don't need to. I mean, all they really need to do is, if they're going to try and copy something COD did, then at least look at their matchmaking and what they did right, There's no different DLC list. It's basically, you jump in. If you don't have that DLC, then you can't get into lobbies with those maps. And then they have
You
the
also-
competitive side with League
Yeah.
Play, where it's skill-based matchmaking for the competitive players. So that way, people who just want to play normal games, there's one thing to go in. That's it. There's one thing, and there's the different game types. That's it. That's all there is to it. Yeah.
Yeah, League Play's awesome. I mean, not only for that, it's the same model as StarCraft uses, and I mean, there's so much incentive to play it because the leaderboards are in your face. The league you're in is in your face. It's addictive to rank up. I mean, it's a lot of fun in that aspect, and so yeah, I mean,
Doesn't it directly affect like your placing in their championship stuff?
they have like, so I know. Well, for Call of Duty, for example, they had the COD Championship. So I mean, there was the top 8 teams from that league got invited to COD Champs, and then StarCraft has the Grandmaster League, which is only 200 people per season can stay in Grandmaster League, and there's just it's just notoriety, and there's a lot
Right.
Mhm.
of stuff that comes with it. So
Makes me mad. Just makes me upset. Like, just makes me upset.
Yeah, it's
But
like it
Whatever.
sucks. I don't know why they changed. I mean, honestly, I like the Gears 1 lobby system, and then the ranked matchmaking. I like that. I thought it was
Also the
fun.
Cycling.
Yeah, and
was the best.
another
That's
great
the
thing that was just removed for absolutely no reason. The
It
map
was the best.
cycles.
Like you wanted to play a private match, whether it was a player match or a scrim or a GB match, whatever you wanted to do, and you could form a cycle of the maps with all the weapon swaps ready to go for each
Mhm.
map. Unanimous. It was one of the best things ever, and it's gone. Like I go back to Gal 1 and I'm like, damn, I forgot about this. This is so nice. And then just not there in any of these new games. Like, is it just me, or do you guys feel there should be like no statistics for quick match? Like, you obviously earn experience, you know what I mean? Like through to your experience level, I guess. But
no stats in
regards
terms
to
of like
everything else,
it doesn't keep track of your kills and stuff with weapons, like that type of stats, or like no leaderboards.
like no leaderboards, no like KD.
yeah, I don't get the.
Why should you
Is
have
there
any
quick
of
match
that?
leaderboards?
Yep, there is.
Yeah, there
That
is.
doesn't
is.
make any sense. I mean,
You kill
like-
bots.
Like,
Like,
classic like I mean, I used to play Xbox just to be number 1 on in-game leaderboards. Like that was something to play for. And
too.
yeah, like exactly. And especially when they brought it like to the forefront, some games would really just push leaderboards. But I don't understand quick match leaderboards at all. That doesn't make any sense to me.
No, I don't understand the point of that. If
Yeah.
you're gonna have leaderboards to show who's the best, shouldn't it be in your more high-end playlist, which is ranked? Because that's what it's supposed to be, and not just a normal hop-in, warm-up, fuck-around one.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
Like rank should have leaderboards. It should have your KD. It should have incentive. It should have like an Onyx rank or whatever they want to call it. I guess that would be cool. A little Gears twist on it, like a true skill like Onyx rank. You know, if you lose a couple matches, you lose a rank, and if you win a few, then you gain a rank. You know, so that you have incentive to want to get better. You know, you have things you earn. You got all these cool armor skins and all this other stuff. We'll make some really, really awesome ones in the ranked playlist so that people can play it. You're not forcing anyone to play it either, because you could play it if you want and you don't have to if you don't. Like, you don't need to revolve achievements around it, because then people that go for all achievements might get really pissed off, you know? I don't, but in regards to like in-game and incentive, you can earn all kinds of cool things by playing it, you know?
Yeah.
The
Now,
the title screen should be upgraded too. You know?
oh yeah, and they need to put in something for future Gears. Obviously, a way to announce things like what they did with the event calendar, but obviously way more in depth than the silly
Yeah.
event calendar, and actually
I'm
use
surprised
it.
that they removed it. I'm surprised they removed the event calendar when it was something that, hell, how many times on Active Reload Season 1 did I say that they needed to fucking use the event calendar, and then they just remove it? Like,
Yeah,
that's just ass backwards. But yeah, I completely agree. Like, some type of in-game notification that broadcasts everyone out, hey, check this out. Hey, we're doing this. Hey, do that. It's like, I don't know.
yeah.
Weird that they took it out.
It's weird, and I think I remember towards the end of it, I think it was Pete who said that they would use the event calendar to advertise some things, and all we had to do to ask. But that was like towards the end of Gears 3's competitive life cycle, as I want to call it.
No,
And then it's-
we
Huh?
asked. Nothing happened.
I know, but I remember Pete saying this, and I was like, but I thought we have asked, and I mean, I hope I'm remembering this correctly, but I remember Pete saying that, and then I was confused because I could have sworn people had asked before.
Yeah, no,
What?
they definitely did. We definitely did. We talked about it last season when I first started coming on the show for the first time.
I'm gonna
Uh,
I'm gonna have to look back at Pete's tweets. I'm gonna go back a year.
Yeah, I mean, it's a while back. I mean, this is not something I would bring up if I wasn't like 90% sure or more. But I remember this. That's because it's one of these things where I remember when it happened. I was like, "What?" You know, one of those things that just stick with me for a while because I couldn't
Mhm.
believe it.
the big thing
Very
is like
surprising.
when you look at like other games, you look at League, you look at Call of Duty, like they promote their tournaments in game. The second you sign in the title menu, there's some, link to, a major tournament, whether it's MLG or this or that. Like, I mean, I don't get it. Like, why don't they? I mean, I know I work for Hype and all, but why don't like they do something like that, or just something that they approve of, even if it's not Hype, just something that they, support because they don't run their own events. You know what I mean? But they got to support
Yeah.
someone.
I mean, they
Like,
post some on the websites, but just not in game. So I don't know. Seems
like
like they would have consistent messaging across all everything. You know what I mean? So if it's on the if it's on the website, it's on Facebook, it's on Twitter, but it's not in game. You know what I'm saying? So like
yeah.
you would expect there to be some consistent messaging there.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I remember another big deal that I talked to them about a while ago was they were like, oh, well, sometimes, the way the certain players compose themselves. So, like, if you looked at the Hype website recently under player info, there's like a player professional conduct now. Like, if you, support a stream, like, Hype will only tweet you out if they see that you're you're pushing that concept, not saying certain words in the stream, so that Epic, when they support you and they, tweet you out, like, they Facebook you out, the few players they have, or tweet you out, that they know for a fact that if anyone goes in there that's associated with them, they could trust you to keep control of your stream and make sure that people are composing themselves in the right way. And I know we're a rowdy, group, all of us, but when it comes not down to trying to be professional, we all can handle it just fine. There's plenty of other people in the community that can handle it just fine. I mean, all I do, my friends, some of them, they run their mouth a little bit. I'll just mute the stream for 2 seconds before I start it. And then I'll just be like, yo, guys, like, you can't say A, B, C. And then let's play, let's have fun. And just, don't go too crazy. That's it. Go. And then
Right.
Epic can tweet you out. They can push you. And then we could all start cross advertising and then helping our community just help each other to get pumped up a little bit. You know what I mean? There's no reason not to. So I know that may have been an issue before, but it's definitely not an issue anymore. I've seen plenty of people, without naming people, that have displayed great example and been starting to move things along. But they got to back us up. That title screen's got to be updated. You got to be able to push players in to have the option, not to force, but to have the option to play competitive if they want, so the scene can grow. It's never happened before. Epic's never done that for us before.
Right. So
I think it's so important.
what do we have on the rest of the list?
I
We haven't
wanted
talked
to.
about audio glitches.
Oh yeah, on the wish list. Yeah.
Final suggestions.
Yeah. Well, in regards to, we talked about the melee basic stuff on the weapon balancing, grenade balancing, without going too much into it. Obviously, we just talked about ranked and matchmaking and all that. Maps, we've said it. We need flashbacks. We need other stuff. Looking at audio, audio just goes with all the issues with the audio. It's the biggest issue with that is that the surround sound doesn't make sense a lot, because of all the multi-leveled maps. So
Right.
since the maps are so multi-leveled, sometimes sounds they don't come across the right way. Your own footsteps sound louder than everyone else's. Like when I play as the Reaper, it's so easy on a map like Haven or Boneyard that doesn't have too many levels to hear everything. On a map like that, it's easy. I go into a map though, like let's say Library, I can't tell where everyone's coming from all the time, and I'm a Reaper. I've got no sound coming out of my character, and I still can't tell
Yeah.
because the sound is that messed up. In regards to bullets, the disappearing grenades that are having issues, like they don't make a sound when you throw them, and they disappear, and then you blow up. Or diggers, you don't see them going to the ground. There's all kinds of issues that have been happening, and audio-wise, they don't show up, and visually, that's part of the glitches section. They don't show up either. So that the audio definitely, if not this game, I don't think they can do anything for that now because I think it's built into the game, if I'm not mistaken. But
They might be able to do some title updates to address some things like the Nay one Um, not the one that you're talking about. There's another one though. If you throw it like if someone throws a nade across the map, you can like hear it in your left. If you're wearing left headphone, left speaker, all like it's right beside you. Like you just look over there and there's nothing there.
Yeah.
So that's one they might be able to address, but I don't know about all of them.
Yeah, anything they can do would be a huge plus. Even if they can maybe quiet your own footsteps so you could hear others a little bit better, you know? Maybe they can't mess with the multi-level structure too much, but at least when someone's close quarters, somewhat close to you, at least you can rely on your headset a little bit, like we all have in previous games. That would be huge.
And you had a big request for the Locust, right? That was another sound enhancement, just because of the opposing team.
Yeah, so like when you have characters, right? Like in previous games, the Locust breathed one way, the Cog breathed another way. So just by sound from the characters, it'd be easy to tell if it was friend or foe. And
Mike?
with
Yeah.
no Locust, it's a little bit hard to distinguish if is that guy coming behind me? If he is behind me, is that guy is he a friend or he is a foe? I got to turn around and then. And not only that, but all the characters look similar. So because of that,
my educated guess on no Locust is just the skins. Like, I just think it was way easier for them to you buy a $5 skin. Like, they basically would
I
have
think
had
that's
to
what Jim said.
Yeah, he confirmed that because that's what I would guess. It's
I'm
like,
pretty sure.
well, the skins are here, so red or blue, they'll be the same team. It just would have been a lot more work to do it for all the Locust characters and all their different bodies.
The weird thing about it is he gave like before the game like came out, one of the things they mentioned was like they wanted it for consistency, and like when they were talking about that, it was like the hitboxes, like people had issues with the hitboxes, and then a little bit later, when they're starting to do more of this in-depth stuff, he said something like, "Well, yeah, it was also because of armor scans." So it's probably more about armor scans.
Yeah, I think so too.
To.
And I think we all. I mean, Locust is part. It's just what Gears of War is. Like,
I'll be right back.
No problem.
Yeah, sure.
I just hope we see them again in the future. Obviously, not this title, but it's fun. Like being Locust is fun, and it makes the multiplayer, about the sound too. I mean, it's very important.
Yeah, different sounds.
Yeah.
I mean, I always like that with when you heard that reloading from the Cantus or whatever. You knew like if you could push like all those different sounds. Like you practice for those sounds because you could hear the jam and you would just on instinct push because you knew he jammed. But in Judgment, it's like I would not hear you just pounding on a dude right behind me. Like I would not hear it. Like you drop down next to me, it's like a feather hit the floor. I don't even know. I don't know how the sounds got that messed up. Maybe they just with the whole multi-level thing, jumping down from one area to the other, maybe they didn't see it, or they still haven't figured out how to fix it, so they just kind of went with it and said, screw it. No idea. But that's a big deal because, I mean, I'm so used to holding down an area, and I'll hear a guy coming behind me, and I'll turn around. In Judgment, I'm constantly watching my ass because I don't trust the audio.
Yeah, it's the first time, though. Like in Gears 1, Gears 2, and Gears 3, before we even had Astros, when everyone was rocking Turtle Beaches or whatever, and then in '08 we got Astros, so then that's when everyone started using them. But before Astros even happened, you still could really tell what was going on, whether you had Tritons or Turtle Beaches, whatever you were using. And then Astros came out, then you really knew what was going on. Like you could really tell surround sound wise who was coming from the side, front, whatever. And you could even like in canals back in the day, the initial strategies, you could tell, have an idea if they were running a full water strat. You'd hear no steps on the steps. Like you just hear, oh, it's all water. Oh, there's all water, one steps. It's got to be a 4 low. Like you could tell just right off the beginning of the map if they were running a 4 low or not, just from audio. Like so many, things that you could focus on. It was amazing. And then they just took all that away. I think another concept that's extremely interesting is that, and someone brought it up in the chat before I could bring it up. What if the future is like the Pendulum Wars? Because if that's what happens, no Locust.
Yeah, I had said that. I honestly thought if they made another Gears of War after Gears 3, it was going to be the Pendulum Wars. I thought that was going to happen. And then I saw how Judgment was, just a prequel to Gears 1. But I still think now, I mean, even with, with Judgment happening, the next one, if there is a next one, it's got to be the Pendulum Wars because I don't know what else they're really going to do.
I feel like if they go Pendulum, right? Just hypothetically, just like quickly, I think this is their biggest chance and give that Gal 1 feel back. And I'm not talking about all weapon balancing and everything. I'm talking about just strictly like the artwork and the feel of the game. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I feel like Gears 2 and Gears 3 didn't feel like Gears like when I looked at it. You know what I mean? When I looked at Gears 1, it was like, oh man, this is crazy. Like the advertisements were unbelievable. It was like the most dark shooter. It was just awesome.
Yeah.
And if they could bring that feeling back and then just incorporate all these things from the best things of the first 3 games and try to stay away from most of the Judgment stuff, you know, asymmetrical maps and, you know, not the greatest of balancing with certain things, get rid of all that, stop the jumping over ledges, get that out of there because it ruins too many game types, then just bring it back to what it is, and then, you know, then we'll be in good shape. In regards to now, one of the other things we were talking about was the game type, right? So if they brought in a game type right now with DLC, what would you guys think would be the game type that can help save Judgment, if anything?
Save Judgment. I mean, you know, a bomb game type. But if we're talking about, you know, saving Judgment, my dead ass honest opinion, I don't think anything's gonna save Judgment.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I'm in agreement with that.
Yeah.
And
We
you
all
guys are
know
talking
it's-
about in terms of numbers, right? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, in
talk about
terms
save,
of
like.
You want to talk about the numbers right now? Judgment versus Gears 3? You want to
Yeah,
do that?
I mean, this would be a pretty good time to bring up the numbers. But,
Yeah.
But I think to clarify what you guys are talking about when you say save, it's just
sure.
a spike in population.
Yeah.
'Cause I
Talking
hate
about
using that term.
player base, because I enjoy Judgment and my team's getting online. I said this before to play, but there's not enough people playing the game. In terms of getting people back playing this game, I personally think it might be too late, because at this point, based on the number of people that bought the game, you already have you know, a third of them that returned it to the store, for one. You release a pack that has, you know, a competitive game type. I mean, realistically, like it just seems too late. Like, are people really going to go buy it again? Like, I don't think there's enough people right now to jump off and actually do it.
All right,
like the
so
way
let's
we
go
wanted
into
to.
it. Let's go into
So
it
go
right
ahead,
now.
Phil. I don't know what the numbers are.
Yeah.
but
Before the show, everybody, I finally did it. I hopped on Gears 3. I hopped on Judgment. This is around 8 o'clock. You know, I figure these are pretty good prime gaming hours for a weeknight. You know, typically people are going to be on around that time. I hopped on every single thing that showed a worldwide stat. I wrote it down, and needless to say, it was pretty mind-blowing to actually see the whole list in front of me. So I'm going to put that up right now, guys, but I mean, it was crazy. I mean, total on Judgment, from everything I could see, these are worldwide numbers, was 11,548. As soon as I went to Gears 3, went to campaign worldwide, 11,651. So there are more people on the Gears 3 campaign than all of Gears Judgment.
Yup.
And those are the worldwide numbers, okay? I went right to worldwide. I didn't try to break down quick versus ranked or any of that. I went to that, and as soon as I saw that campaign number, I was like, there's no hope. I can't see that being revived. I can't. I mean, looking at that, I'm not trying to be the guy, you know, hammering that last nail into the coffin, but I had to put this up there after I saw it, you know. There's more people on a campaign for the older Gears than the entire Gears of War Judgment I just...
Everything.
How?
Just
It is
people
strange- it is
playing
strange.
campaign more than anything in Judgment. You take everything in Judgment, you add it all together, everything, and you don't even chink the armor of campaign on Gal 3. That's not counting all the other playlists. It's not counting all the other playlists that are still there in Gal 3.
Yep.
And that just goes to show you one thing, and just, you know, not trying to be too harsh right now, but when you take a game and you design it around a game type that has never been fully tested, and you go away from all the nostalgia and all the things that make people like Gears, I mean, it goes to show it yourself. And the marketing excuse, I've been hearing that a ton. That's not an excuse, me personally. I don't think that that's an excuse to why it's where it is.
It's a pretty
right
big deal. It's a pretty big deal, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
mean,
like
the-
I said,
no,
I
it's
had-
not all marketing.
here's
But
the issue. It's like you have people hopping off the game to go back to Gears 3. So that says something more so than the marketing campaign. But marketing is definitely a big portion of the pie that is I mean, it contributes to the sales, the initial sales of the game. So let's say they get some players that have never played Gears before, and those are the guys that absolutely love Gears of War. Like, they failed there. You know what I mean? Like, people that would potentially like this game, that just didn't bother. I think that's an important fact, to state. I mean, it's just
There's
information.
plenty of Gears heads. Like, this isn't a war about people aren't playing Gears. I mean, they're playing Gears. They're just not playing the one we want people to be playing right now. So, based on if we're saying things that is unmotivating for Epic to not push content for Judgment, well, what this really is about is let's learn our lessons here, and if it's not for Judgment, like, let's make it be for whatever titles come up, even if it's not Gears of War. Like, Epic as a studio, just understand these changes might not have been for the best for this franchise, and the communication we're having with them now is something that is great, should moving forward with. But I just think with the wish list and this show and everything we go over, it's just like, take all that and put go full throttle, like Kale mentioned before. Like, you just want them to see go 100% on a Gears title. Like, that's what needs to happen, really. And
I just want to touch on one small point from last week, since I wasn't here, in regards to like the new DLC. Am I the only one that feels like that Master of Arms is pretty much the gun game from Call of Duty?
We
established
talked about that. Yeah, we talked about that last week. Yeah.
everyone's
This is one point I'm just gonna make real quick. It seems like they're taking elements from other games that are successful and trying to implement them into Gears to make Gears successful. But I think the biggest
hold on. Is would you guys say gun game in Call of Duty is successful?
No, not successful, but like, just they're trying to satisfy like a large majority, just have fun. You know what I mean? Obviously, the league play and other big issues like that are the reasons why people have fun playing Call of Duty competitively, and just the game modes all together for Call of Duty, they work together to make everyone just have a great time, no matter what type of player you are. Doesn't matter if you're a guy who hops on, if you're a 9 to 5 kind of guy, you go to 9 to 5, you go to your job, come home, play for a tiny bit. No matter what you do, it's got something for everyone to play.
There's even a third-person mode.
God's very accessible. It's very easy to pick up.
Like,
and just
the
play.
game in general, like, look how much numbers they have. So it seems like everyone is trying to take a little bit of something from there to incorporate.
But
Go ahead.
it's not a gun game that does that. It's just how easy it is to kill someone in Call of Duty that does that. Like, it's just the gameplay that makes Call of Duty accessible. I think gun game is a like different game type for the free for all genre, which is what Judgment is.
Yeah.
So that's why it was kind of easy to bring into Judgment. But
so if you bring that in, though, right? My point I'm trying to get at, the technicality, is that if you want to make Gears improve, you've got to start with the foundation of what it is, right? So improve the foundation, give the players what they want, and then just let it start to snowball over, and over time it will start to get more popular. You're not going to be able to just grab players from other games, because those players most likely are pretty loyal to their games. The hoppers will come, but then they'll hop away. There's hoppers, and then there's people that are usually pretty loyal to their game. You're not going to be able to just steal them. They're not going to just come over.
I'm not sure they were trying to accomplish that at all. I think the whole goal of this was to try and implement a game type that's been on a bunch of shooters in the past, and COD's definitely not the first one to do it. It's just that's what everybody thinks out there, like, oh, Call of Duty gun game. But I mean, there's other games like Battlefield and Counter-Strike that have done it, and it works. Honestly, I think it's better on those than it is on COD. But it's just something they saw, and we're like, you know what? Let's put it in. People seem to like it on other games. Maybe they'll like it on here too for our Gears players. I don't think they expected to really steal anybody, because adding a game type in a game that's so different from other shooters is not going to really bring people from those shooters over. It's really how the game plays as a whole, like how hard it is, because people have a really hard time going from an FPS to Gears of War. It's like completely lost puppies. Like, they're just walking around, like standing up, spraying guns, and
like,
don't even know what cover is.
Yeah, kind of get in cover and look around.
Yeah,
but
I just have you guys seen some of the other pro players play Gears? Like, legitimately, have you seen some of them play?
When you say other pros, like,
you mean like
talking about from other game, Halo, Call of Duty?
Oh, it's bad. It's bad.
Yeah, it doesn't. It's like it's it's pretty difficult to get into at
Mhm.
first. So I mean, it takes some getting used to, definitely.
Yep. Takes a lot of
But
getting used to, and I mean that's why how many times we're gonna beat a dead horse saying this has to happen, that we need a skill-based matchmaking system because that's
Yeah.
the only way you're gonna get those people into your game. StarCraft is like the most skilled game I've ever seen in my life, and they have like the perfect matchmaking, so anybody can hop on and play on people their level, no matter how bad or good you are. You got people to play against, so it's fair.
Yeah, it's absolutely amazing. Actually, I put a lot of time into that game, and like based on what league you're in, like you'll actually relate to a person on skill level. Like it blows my mind how accurate their matchmaking system is,
Mhm.
and like how they place players. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, let's go back to these numbers though. I mean, looking at Judgment, 11,500, call it 12,000, whatever, and then look at Gears 3, and that's without the forces of nature, so you can call that 22,000 because I can't see those numbers.
Uh-huh.
How is this wish list? Because they're not going to go back to Gears 3 and support Gears 3 on competitive level, and not to mention it wouldn't work out at all. How is this wish list or anything they plan to do going to pull people back from Gears 3 onto Judgment? You
I,
know,
I
and
will say, I will say that from comments on my video, there are certain things that are keeping people away from judgment. One of them is content. So
Mhm.
content could bring people back. The other one is things like melee stem. They're like, if they fix those, I wouldn't actually mind playing. So I mean, obviously, I think there's a really small number of people that are going to be like, they're going to not be playing some other game that's already out and be like, oh, Gears just dropped some content. Let me get off of this new game, this nice new game that I'm playing, and go hop on that. I mean, that's really, really difficult to do. Just being in game dev, knowing how it works, like once you've lost, even business, once you've lost a customer, you know how hard it is to retain that customer? Like it's so
Yeah,
difficult.
exactly.
It's
It is
extremely
so
hard.
difficult. So,
That's what's most disappointing to me about it.
I don't know. I mean, honestly, I don't know what's going to bring it back to even say at launch or close to the launch numbers that we had. No
The,
idea.
But
the,
again, like
the
there
big,
was no like yeah, what was their intention? How much money did they want to put into advertising, etc. We
Right.
talked about it, and like I said, I have a group of core friends. We always get the same titles, and it was a month later when I told them I'm playing the new Gears, and they didn't even know about it. So it's just an example, but
Yeah. I mean, it's really a question, like you just said, Rob. It's like, what were they expecting? Like they had to have expected it to not do as well because they obviously they had a bare bones crew working on it, and they handed it off to People Can Fly while the majority of their studios working on Fortnite. So it's like, what did they really expect from this title? Is it like a last hurrah? Is it testing features for another game? Is it penny pinching? People. I mean, I don't know what it is that they really. And that's what I've been saying the last couple of weeks. What was the design direction for this game? What was the overall? What was the big goal? What was the big picture? There's just a lot of question marks right there. So someone
I agree.
says, I'm trying to say stop playing Gears and go play Loadout. No,
Oh,
that is not at all what I'm saying. Not at all.
man.
yeah.
Not at all.
you could have wore a loadout shirt. That would have done it. No, I'm just kidding.
No, no.
But yeah,
I got on
I
my big 33 football shirt.
Yeah, I mean, I hate to be, the negative guy with all this, but I don't think anything's gonna matter. I think whenever, if say they're like, hey, here's this game type, like here's a bomb game type, something you've always been wanting for. Hey, here's this too, and hey, here's all
Well,
these maps you've needed.
speak for
We'll,
yourself, Kenny. If I get a bomb game type, I swear to God, I will play that shit
oh, you will, yeah.
all day, every fucking day, until a new game comes out.
I know you will, but here's the other thing too. Like we also love Overrun, but we're not gonna be playing Overrun that much, And
That's
I just,
Overrun is completely different.
yeah,
You can't
a
put
little.
those two in the same.
I guess, but yeah, it all depends how they do the bomb game type too, though. Will they fuck that up?
I mean, that's something that I guess we could get into this discussion. We talked about this yesterday. For you guys that don't know, had a nice. You guys were talking before I did, and it was like half an hour discussion when I hopped in. So you guys probably got an hour discussion on just bomb game type and maps that
Yeah.
would work with it for
Yeah.
quite a bit before we did this show. And like a bomb game type in Gears is probably the most compelling game type that I will probably ever get to play. And I'm just being flat out. The reason that it's so different from Call of Duty, and I don't think people really, or Counter-Strike for that matter, is that there are power weapons on map. It completely changes the way you, okay, do I go for the bomb? Do I go for this power weapon for the bomb? How fast can I do that? What's the plant time? Where are people going to be positioned at? Like, it just completely changes the way the game is played, and it makes it that much more interesting to me because I'm really heavy on strategy. Like, don't get me wrong, I love, skill, out shooting people, but like, if you are a better strategist than me, fucking kudos to you, because I swear to God, like, strategy wise, and you guys know my team, like, we try to make the best strategies out there. Like, we go head over heels to be like, okay, we're gonna do this, 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 and this, and we will run it to a T, and like, we will do that all game. If you're scrimmaging us, we will run the same strat over and over and over again just to work it for that day. Like,
Yeah.
we will do one full day of running nothing but one strat, and then the next day we'll do a completely different strat. Like, we are heavy into it. So, like, people, it's really hard for people to make that negative association with, and this is really difficult in Gears, and it's something that bringing up a bomb game type or bringing up a oddball game type, like, people in Gears seem like they are really like head over heels, like, don't you fuck up bringing in a game type from another game. That's not what the fuck we want. It's like, we only want these, and it's like, man, that, or it needs to have the Gears twist on it. Like, some of those from a competitive standpoint are some really, really damn good game types, and if you don't see it, like, you are just, whew. I mean, I don't feel like you're in tune with the people on this show in terms of why a game type like Search and Destroy or Bomb from CS is so important, so vital to the spectator experience, the competitive experience. Like, it paints a story. Like, it's easy to follow. So that's my little spiel on it. I mean, I know you guys probably have some of your own stuff, and then we can talk about the maps.
And there's so many clutches. There's like even
So many
more clutches in Bomb.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
But
many
it's like-
clutches.
It's like
Go ahead.
execution, but on a whole nother level with a whole new element added in. It's like just taking execution and just pumping it full of just brand new stuff. It just gives a whole new life to multiplayer.
Yeah, no, it does. I mean, there's so many more strats put in. Not to mention, execution doesn't really work in Judgment. I mean, I'm a huge execution fan. That's all I really need to play and have a good time on Gears. But on Judgment, it's not the same. It's just not the same. And I understand why they were saying it didn't work and why it wasn't supposed to be in the first place. But it's like, I mean, we weren't supposed to get execution, so what the hell were you going to give us to replace it? Nothing?
Right.
I think if it does happen, it's going to be called E-hole. That's what I heard.
E-hole.
Well,
Yeah.
destroy the emergency hole. I mean, that makes
Yeah.
perfect sense. That makes
And
perfect
use a light-
sense.
And it's a prequel, right? So use a prototype for the light match.
The only issue with that is, like, it's COG versus COG, and that's more of a. I mean, are you the COG would be defending the E-hole? Like, that would be
Yeah, it doesn't
that would
make
be
sense.
really weird. Like, that doesn't make sense.
know.
So
Maybe they went rogue and they're on the Locust side now. I don't know.
They got
That's the only
converted,
reason it doesn't make sense now. If the Locusts were in the game, it'd work so much better.
Yep.
which is exactly why we were pushing it for Gears 3.
Back
so
in your
hard.
hole.
Unless you're
I just-
saying that, like, it's like a demo version of the light mass bomb, and I don't know, they're in training or something.
They're training.
They're in
I like
training.
Light Mass.
Like, they're practicing against each other with some mini bomb. Like, it's practice. I don't know. Like, it's the only way I think you can get away with it.
I really don't
So-
care how it looks as long as it works. I really don't care.
Yeah. I mean, it could be anything. Like, it could be a box that you have to blow up. I don't care. It could be just a regular ass box, some weapons.
Yep.
You're trying to blow up their weapon supply. I don't care. Like, just make it work. That's all I really care about. And you guys hit it. Like, the recent execution, I didn't even like. I'm gonna be up front with you guys. Like, execution wore off with me towards the end of Gears 2. I kind of got tired of it. And in Gears 3, it was like, with the stopping power, the rifles felt strong. It was like, I didn't like playing execution that much. It just felt slow at times. You know what I mean? You get those
Oh, yeah.
setups where it's a stalemate. Nobody wants to make that move. One team is going to have to make the move if you want to win the match, but, it just go to a draw. With Search and Destroy, you still have the same execution rules, except you're giving one team the ultimatum. You sit there and camp, you will lose. Like, you have to make a move or you will lose. You know what I mean? So it's like, it adds that objective to force you to actually clutch, force you to come up and play instead of hiding like a little bitch, running around the map so I can't catch your ass like on like on Gears Judgment all day, just running around in circles. Like I don't that's not fun to me. You know what I mean? That's not fun to me. I would rather see people play to win. Play to win. Like, you know what I mean? And Bomb Game Type puts it all on the line. That's what it does. Like, and if you don't see it, if you're against it, like, I hate to be that dude, but fuck you. Just up front, like, man, fuck you, because if you don't see how it just progresses that level of gameplay, like, I'm just blown away, especially for Gears of War.
No, there's going to be a lot of people too that are going to be like, bomb game type, what the fuck, get that out of here, I just want to kill people. And it's like, I don't understand that, because it's a better game type for Gears of War. It's just a better game type in general for almost any game. You know, any shooter, you know?
Gears of War 1, like, I felt like on game battles, there was the Warzone players and the Execution players, and they each had a ladder. You guys remember that?
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah.
And
Now-
no, there's no Warzone. So we won that fight.
Now, I see people in the chat. I see people in the chat talking about capture the flag, and I think I went on a rant about this last week. How I would love for there to be capture flag. Yeah, as long as it's not that piece of shit meat flag submission, whatever the hell it was, where you shot down some stranded motherfucker and he had a shotgun and could chunk you, and it was the dumbest thing. Let's put a weapon on a flag. What is that? What is that? Yeah, since when is the flag a living thing that can fight back? And it made no sense.
Meat flag?
I hate it. I mean, just a standard flag. Why does Epic always have to take something and put some stupid ass twist on it to make it unique? It's CTF. I just want a fucking flag to take from point A to point B. I don't need all this other shit in between. Alright, I don't need some guy with a gun that's somehow a flag that I gotta grab and drag back like a fucking meat shield. It's dumb. Just give me a flag. Please.
How funny would it be just Brody running in circles, though? That'd be so fun.
This comes back to the primary point that we said before. The most important thing, I mean, there was a Twitter discussion about this a couple days ago, is Epic needs to be in communication with their community in all elements. That means devs, you know, other players, and a couple competitive guys while the game is being developed. This has to happen. In the future, there is no excuse. People can't be getting invited after the game is pretty much done, and then you're just talking about tweaks for weapon balancing. No, it's got to be when the blueprints are being put together so that we can make sure, as a unit, like a unit of checks and balances, that everything is going in the right direction. Because this bullshit can't happen anymore. Because, like, you look at submission. Imagine if us and other people were in there, whoever's in there, I don't care who's in there, but just people that the community trusts are in there, and you hear, oh, yeah, guys, we're making submission, and we've got a stranded guy, and he could shoot you, and that's the flag. We would all sit there at the table and go, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, that makes no sense. Like, we would be the first people, and anyone there would be like, wait, hold the fuck up. What are you doing? Like, and that's what needs to happen so that in the future, when the game starts getting developed, these don't happen in the future. There's just no way. And, like, you don't want the bomb type getting created and some stupid little twist on it ruins it, you know?
Yeah.
Just make it simple. Make it simple. Just keep it simple. Don't complicate the shit out of things, you know?
Yeah, I mean, we just need something simple. Almost every Gears, they try to take something normal and put their own little spin on it almost to make it unique. You know, something they can love because it's like they created it. You know, it's not like they copied it. And it kind of drives me nuts. I mean, you see the same thing kind of, with King of the Hill. King of the Hill wasn't King of the Hill, it was Annex. I mean, you didn't have to stay in the hill. You capped the hill and then were able to run out of the hill? How does that work? King of the Hill, you're supposed to be dominating the hill. You're supposed to be in the hill.
In the hill.
Holding it down. How is King of the Hill if you're not in the hill?
Like, that's the point. It's like, okay, we got the hill, guys. We've got one guy that's going to keep the hill so we don't lose it, you know? We've got 3 guys guarding you with 4 guys that are going to push us organized, you know? That's King of the Hill. Oh, wait, hold on. Let's cap the hill. Everyone set up around it. Don't worry. We don't got to stay in the hill, man. The Epic made it nice for us. They made it easy. You know, everybody just camp with your overpowered lancers with, active reload buffs. Yeah, we'll be fine. Don't worry. Like, that's not the way. Like, KOTH in Gears 3 played out pretty well, but if it was done correctly, it would have played out so much better. And if it had some of the elements that this game has, with no stopping power and just really good weapon balancing, man, that would have been awesome. You
Yeah,
know,
and it's
it's so
funny
much better.
because Bratelli just said on Twitter, I think it's say she said, "Would you agree that all the elements are there except for a functional team game type and maps?" And yeah, that's true. And
For the most part.
Jim Brown had asked me, recently, he had asked me, uh, could there be anything done, just simple gameplay mechanic tweaks, anything like that, that would make Gears of War fun for me to hop on and play every day, all the time? Because I don't know if you guys know, but I've barely been on Judgment the past 2 weeks. I've been all on PC, having a blast on all the games I could play that I can actually play over and over and have a good time. And for Judgment, making gameplay tweaks, stuff like that, I couldn't. That would not get me back on the game. What would get me back on the game is good game types and maps. That's it. Good maps.
And
Good
incentive.
maps.
Don't forget incentive. It's got to be there. Like, because then you're just gonna get bored after a while. You're not gonna feel like you're getting anything. You know what I mean? Like you want to earn something when you're playing to make you want to play more. Like you want to have a system that makes you feel like you've achieved something. Like yeah, at the end of the day, it's only a number, a skin, or whatever you get. But if it's something exclusive and no one has it, like remember when that stupid green liquid skin came out at first? Everybody wanted that.
Those are so
Everybody
cool. The
wanted that shit.
Jack in the Box.
Yeah,
Yep.
all that stuff when like well yeah, but like before you knew where it came from, you know what I mean?
Oh,
Like everyone was just like, wait, whoa, how'd you get that? That looks so cool, you know? Or the invisible skin that the devs had for their shotgun or whatever. There was always, cool stuff that you could get, and you were just like, whoa, how do I earn that? You know? And then the game just tells you, oh well, you can earn this really cool stuff here, and here's your motivation to go play it. You know? It was just awesome. That's what's got to happen.
Hmm.
But obviously, in regards to the bomb game type, we touched up on it a little bit. Let me ask you guys a quick question. Like, obviously, we've got everything in regards to the wish list, but we've talked about what Epic needs to do in the future and all that kind of stuff. But like, in regards to maps, just personally, just your personal opinions. Do you guys have any maps that you'd like to see come back? Just personally, like, just for you guys, whatever you guys think. Any maps that you guys think should come back?
I mean, obviously, I love War Machine, but I don't know if it came back, it would work because you can hop off that top ledge and stuff's just not the same in Judgment that it was in Gears 1. It wouldn't be the same experience, I don't think. So I don't know about that. I'd go more towards Gears 3 maps because I hate everything Gears 2. So
Yeah.
I would
also
like
think it'd
check
be
out,
easy
obviously.
in PS3.
are we talking just current state of Judgment? What maps we would like to see?
Just in general, yeah.
Yeah,
Like whatever you
I
guys
like Old Town a lot. I talked about this because Old Town it works on multiple game types, and there's a lot of different strategies out of the gate due to the multiple paths. It's like a league map. It's cool.
Mhm. Yeah.
That's my favorite.
Yeah, and then like if you had Old Town, it doesn't have too many problems with the falling off the ledges type of thing. It's not too crazy. So the map and domination might play out well. Definitely would play decent in EXE. If you look at other maps, I mean, the biggest fan favorite in all the emails was Checkout. That was the one that everyone was like, check out. It was like one of the first ones in everyone's email, which is
Checkout
check out,
was so
check
good.
out, check
I
out.
still
check
I
out.
still
All
can't
over the
believe they brought back Blood Drive over a map like that.
Over map like checkout, yeah.
I can't.
Checkout's great. They'd have to make tweaks for it to work in the Judgment playstyle, I think. Like, not even that much. I mean, it's kind of nice and small, and free for all would definitely work. I would think because like you can spawn around the map, but there's no vertical play.
I mean,
really.
checkout, they might have to, it might be like, if we're going predate, maybe that place isn't all destroyed in Gears Judgment. So, like, what the escalators are? That
Like I
area
always
might
wanted to
be
go down the
something new.
escalators.
Yeah,
that'd be cool.
Like, I think I spent
might be
hours
one
just
area.
trying to like jump off of the map and go down there. So it'd be awesome to actually be able to do that.
I've accidentally glitched down there a couple times.
See, you got to let me know that stuff because that's where I waste time trying to get out of the map like Halo 2.
Yeah.
Super jumping, man. That's old.
Yeah. But let me see. I'm trying to think what else. Check out. I don't know how many people like this map, but this is one we talked about. Was Cove. Like, I really like that map
Yeah.
a lot. I don't know how it will play in Judgment, but Cove was a pretty good map overall. I liked it. I think the only thing I might change is like sometimes you know that fight at the very beginning over by the two inks, and then there's like that little, I can't remember what was in there. The
It was a
room,
sniper and a digger. Yeah, it
sniper and a
alternated.
digger.
Yeah.
So like that room sometimes would get on my nerves depending on who got in there first and if they were kind of set up. But the rest of the map was pretty solid.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, such a
I
good fight
liked
there.
Cove. I really did on map. But that came out
It is.
towards the end of the cycle, and nobody really gave it a chance, which sucked.
Yeah.
It was a perfect example of a Gears of War execution map.
Yep.
Like it was designed just the way the execution maps need to be designed. Multiple paths, different angles.
Yeah, and it was pretty
power
symmetrical.
across the center. Yeah, it was great.
Yeah, it was
map.
symmetrical, but it had like subtle differences, cosmetic differences on each side, which was cool because
Yes.
you were able to know which side you were on without getting confused. I think like one side had like this whiskey shack, and the other one I
Uh-huh.
forgot what it was,
It was
but
like a, it
Who?
was like a
Who?
yeah, something like that. It was something like whiskey shack, moonshine, whatever the hell. But
it had a radio. There was like
yeah,
some music playing in the one room.
yeah, that's what I love. I like symmetrical maps
Hooch.
with cosmetic differences, so you know which side you're on. Like that, that's why I really liked Cove.
trying to think.
And the similar map to Cove, we agreed on was Slab. Another,
Slab.
nice
Hated
execution. Linear
Hated
map.
it for King. Absolutely hated it for King. After they,
Yeah, Slab
you know what it
didn't work.
was? Like it was decent on King, and then they made those hill changes. You guys remember
yeah.
the hill changes? They
I don't
made?
know why they changed it. I loved it.
Oh man, I was like tripping out when they made those hill changes. Like I couldn't believe some of those ones that they made.
They added two hills you could like never capture. Like they were just
Oh.
right there in front of a spawn. I don't even know why they were put there.
Yeah, but it was decent before, and then after they made the changes, it was like unplayable. But for execution, it was really good.
Hmm.
Another map, this is kind of just like another one that we spoke about, maybe for the objective-based game types that would work if Bomb came into play, was Academy. We all said, like, hey, in Gears 3, for King of the Hill and for execution, it was kind of, it was okay, but it was, like, not really. But in regards to, a Bomb game type, it's a little big, but for 4-on-4 with a Bomb game type, it might play out pretty decent.
Yeah.
So, it obviously when we're talking how it played out in Gal 3, for what the objectives were, it didn't play the greatest. But if we made like a list of some maps, like if they can bring back War Machine is number 1. Number 2, right behind War Machine could work for EXE, it could work for Dom, it would just be awesome, and everybody wants it. Check out another huge one. Everybody wants it. Old Town, perfect all around. Literally could run any game type on it. Great. Academy, you probably could run Bomb or Dom. If you don't run Academy, well, mess with Cove or Slab or something like that. If we're talking Gears 3 other than the War Machine map. So the real big thing is like, now other community favorites, I see people posting in the chat, people are saying like Canals, but think about it. You take Canals, are you going to run a Bomb game type on Canals?
It's
or are
too,
you gonna
too
run,
tight.
It's too tight. Or are you going to run Execution on
Yeah,
Canals?
the hopping off ledges was my issue
Hopping
with
off the
Canals. I
bridges?
love Canals, but it'd be really it'd be a huge chase the whole game, I think.
Yeah, it's gonna be it's not gonna play out how you guys remember. In my personal opinion, I don't think it's gonna play out how you guys remember. River, jumping off the roofs at the snipe? You can't pinch that guy in the house anymore.
I didn't even like
Fly
that
out
map
to
that
the
much
piece.
to begin with. I don't know what the big craze about River is. I don't
I
understand
had
it.
some really bad memories of MBN like doing some nasty stuff with those smoke ragdolls on River. So that's like one of my. I used to like it like decently, but like I can't stand that map.
Yeah, I mean, it's a decent
is-
map. I don't think it's that amazing that it's a must that needs to be back. That's one of those maps where it's like, the same thing with Blood Drive. Like, apparently that's a community favorite, and that's something I don't understand. Maybe people just had a lot of fun messing around on it back in the day. That's why they like it. But, I mean,
We used
as
to
a...
always like warm up on it, just
Yeah,
like run
yeah.
free for all 4 people, blood drive. I mean, it had the pillars, it had like easy wall bouncing in the middle to practice, warm up.
Yeah, it seemed
But-
like a good screw around map and all that. And I understand fun maps. We don't need like maps like that right now. We need the best maps possible for competitive play that's going to bring people back. Because I mean, those are the only people really still playing
Yeah,
Gears at
that's
this moment.
good, too. Like, remember, guys, if we're bringing maps back, we're bringing them back to help with team-based game types.
Mhm.
We're bringing them back for execution. We're bringing them back for a possible, hopefully, a bomb game type. We're bringing them back for, domination or even TDM, even though TDM probably will never be competitive just because of the way it plays out. But, even just for TDM, if you had a little bit better maps in TDM, it would play out a little bit better. So you want maps that are going to be able to be used for team-based game types, and that's what's really important with the new map pack. So keep that in mind. Think about how the maps that you select are going to play out in those game types. Really think about that. And keep in mind, guys, Gears 2 is probably extremely hard for them to do. I'm just being theoretical here. If they could do a Gears 2 map, a map like Security would be awesome. But we've got to make use of what we have. We can't have them give us 4 new maps, and then we find out that, oh my God, we only could use one of these. What do? We need to all, put a vote in, get everyone rallied together to really think on this, on what maps should be, put in,
Yeah,
Tweet into the devs, whatever you guys want to do. But these are what we've come up with off the top of our heads.
yeah, I think everybody should be thinking really Gears 3 maps in general. That should be your first thought, what Gears 3 maps you would really like, because that's going to be the easiest for them to pull off, because it's the same graphics and everything. I mean, they just got to pretty much drag it over and make those subtle changes that they made in Judgment to the maps. But I mean, those are the easiest things for them to do, Gears 3 maps. So you got to think those right off the bat. And remember all the DLC maps and everything, because there was actually Gears 3 had a lot of good maps. All the the DLCs actually all had good maps here and there, which was surprising.
Yeah. Like, and keep in mind, like, if we get one map that's a full flashback, remember Jim Brown tweeted that, bringing back like an old map, like from GAO 2 or GAO 1, like, if he ever did that, the #1 cry was War Machine. And everyone has said that I've talked to, it was in almost every single email, that War Machine, War Machine, War Machine. So me personally, I'm just like, you know what, bring it back. Bring it back, the GAO 1 style, and make it work. And just have people so they can't jump off the top. Like, you could jump over the sandbags into, snipe and all that, but the map will play out pretty damn nice if you push for that,
What's interesting is, like, you hear what people were talking about. Had Blood Drive not been brought back, do you think people would have been like, bring back Blood Drive?
No,
no way. Or even Boneyard as Mausoleum. Like, I mean, I know they say it's not Mausoleum, but I mean, crap, even in the center of the map, one of the areas of the map is called Mausoleum. I know it's not the same exact map, but it's pretty similar in some ways, It seems like some ideas from that map came there. So we got 2 throwback maps that didn't seem too popular by the community from my eyes. I never heard about those maps, when people were sending me emails before that got dropped,
Right.
No one was talking about them at all. So,
have you guys played a lot of Boneyard, by the way?
I have. I actually
only mastered
created
at
the hype
arms.
settings for him.
Okay. Yeah, I played it on Dom and I played it on TDM, and I couldn't find an execution match, so I didn't get to play it on that. But I actually like how it plays out. Now, the one thing that I brought up when I was talking about the map balance, I think it was 2 episodes ago, is like, that little sniper nest that they made is so annoying. It is so annoying. It is exactly how I thought it would play out. And I can't believe that they have it there, because what people do is they grab the snipe. You have no, unless you go boom first, because I'll tell you, like, if one team gets boom, and this is what we played, there was a team of 5. One guy grabbed boom off the beginning, got like 1 or 2 kills, ran all the way over to snipe. They had snipe, and we had torque side. They just sat in there with the boom. Then at the 2-minute mark, he ran back out with his 1 boom with 2 other dudes, while the other 2 guys held down that sniper's nest, and they grabbed more boom. And it was like we got beat like 50-20. I was like, oh my God, this is so frustrating. Wow. And it is exactly how I thought it would play out. Like, people would sit in that sniper's nest because you can't do anything about it unless you grab the boom shot, and then you can flush them out. But, like, if you're playing parties of 5, like, there's just boop, 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 boop. So, like, they really need to think about the weapon swaps on that for the TDM. And, I mean, domination, it doesn't really matter because, if you're sitting up there, you're going to lose. But that boom shot, like, the way it's placed based off of where everything else is at, it's like, it could be better. Really surprised they had it at the launch of that. It just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, for the hype
Someone said
settings,
spam frags. I didn't have frags. I was running E.
For we had some hype settings that people have been scrimming on, like the people that have been scrimming. We took the boom shot. We switched it to a digger. We had a long shot on like the far bridge, like the one all the way to the right, and then on the middle bridge, I think we had grenades, and that played out really, really well. And then we just had inks where the torque and the sniper were originally. So like we just put them over there, and then it worked out great. Everyone was loving it. There's settings for that, and there's settings for Dom blood drive for now at least, like for what we have, for the moment, for the meantime. And everyone that's been playing them, we haven't heard really too many complaints. People unanimously were like, "Oh wow, like Haven and Boneyard actually feel like they play like it's Gears." Like obviously there's still issues because you can jump over the certain types of cover and you can still run around a little bit, but it's at least not as bad as any of the maps, nearly as bad on execution. So it works out pretty good. You guys can check them out if you want your free time. Just typhustation.com. Just go to the right there, scroll down, and then under game types, thread all there.
It's the ideal map for Judgment.
Real quick, because it sounds like we're almost wrapping up now.
Mhm.
I saw Jim tweeted out. Was it this? I think it was last week. It might have been this week. I don't know. But he tweeted out that should Hypefestation swaps be live yet? And everybody was like, "Oh, whoa, hold up.
Yeah.
Is there a reason why you guys are waiting? You guys waiting for
Yes,
TU?
because we need to find out what's going on with this DLC 3. We need this to drop because why would we have them make changes to certain maps that aren't being honestly the testing the people that are testing isn't that many people at the moment. You know what I mean?
Well,
You don't have
I
the maps being
personally-
fully abused.
I personally would like the swaps in just because they're better than
There.
what Epic has
That's
right
true.
now. It's just
And it doesn't seem too difficult for them to change them
it
back
doesn't seem
week
difficult.
to week.
Yeah, for just
No.
boop. I mean, so
But I don't know. You could check with them
If-
on that. Maybe you could ask, or
you
maybe
guys
they could
have
let us
official
know on
swaps,
tomorrow on
send
their
them
live
out.
show.
yeah, that would
If
be
they
awesome.
swap
We
it,
have-
is it
we have
possible
swaps.
for
The
them
only
to
thing we're
request
waiting
another
for
Some of
swap
those
to
are
find
just
out
week or
they're
something?
just sickening annoying right now.
Yeah, but we can get them all in, and then not only that, we're also working with them to find out, if they do bring these maps back, we'll be able to, once they tell us what's going on, to help them out and suggest for that too, so that it all goes in the right direction. So will there be changes? Yeah, they definitely want to do it, but we're just waiting to see what's going on. So once we find out what's going on in regards to those new DLC, then we could push it right away, and then a lot of the maps will get a lot better.
Okay.
At least in regards to power weapons and everything like that and placements,
Interesting.
So yeah, we have been talking to them a lot. I've been talking to Epic non-stop. I had to take a lot of time off to do the wish list, but even while I was doing the wish list the whole way,
Shit.
we were talking. So I'm trying to do everything I can.
Yeah, we're
It's just that this DLC 3 needs to happen though. In the game as of right now, it's not enough. If they go and just give us these power weapon swaps with the current hype settings, yeah, that's great, that's nice. But numbers 1 through 5 on the wish list got to happen to some degree. There's no excuse on melee. There's no excuse on the weapon balancing.
Kenny,
There's
you
no
have to say
excuse on the grenade balancing. Those all need to happen. Playlists need to be condensed. Whatever incentive they could add it, and then content number 1, make it happen.
Yeah, sorry guys, somebody's been attempting to hit me, so Skype has been acting really delayed right now and funky, so I was just letting you guys talk.
Oh, okay.
It's delayed
So,
for
hear us at all just now, or
me
what?
too, Kenny. I assume everybody watching hears it as well.
Yeah, it's real wrapped up right now. Somebody's trying to hit my VPN, which is a smart move. It's totally working for you. But I guess we could wrap it up now because we pretty much talked about all we can, and I don't really know what else we could say at this point anyway. So if you guys want to do your sign-off, shout-outs, anything like that.
Yeah, I'm gonna go first. I'm gonna give a shout out to everyone in the stream for tuning in. It's been pretty consistent with the numbers here. We are continually trying to make Gears of War in general, the franchise, whether it be Judgment or something down the future, the best possible experience that we can. So just keep chugging along. I don't care if you go back to Gears 3, that's fine. If you play Judgment, that's fine. Just keep supporting Gears of War and obviously Team Razor, all the boys on Amazing. That's all I got. All you guys on stream for doing this every week. That's all I got.
All right, Fatal or Rob, go next.
You go, Rob, if you want.
No problem. I don't know if you guys will be able to hear this
You're good right now. You're
closing
good.
statement. Oh, okay. All right. Well, with that being said, I want to show you guys these sick new Raw Talent jerseys since I can't wear them to any tournaments, but I could show them off here. So I'm going to thank NJ Cubano for mailing this to me. He sent it to me free of charge for my birthday yesterday, so that was appreciative. And thank you all for wishing me a happy birthday and your thoughts right now. So anyway, this is by Lang Gaming Gear. You guys can check them out at Lang Pro. These are pretty cool. These are long sleeves. Shout out to Squid Grips and Elgato Gaming as well. I'm excited to one day wear this again. Maybe on stream, maybe at a live event. Who knows? But these are pretty hot. So check out Land Gaming Gear. The other thing I wanted to mention was another website I was working on right now called CodeTrader.net. So I want to just drop that real quick. I dropped it in the link. Working on a platform for gamers to trade video game codes, kind of like a Craigslist. I find when I get a new game, I'm usually going on eBay to sell these or something like that. I'm always kind of looking for that one place to trade them. So let me know if you have any suggestions, and retweet the Twitter post on the at CodeTrader for a chance to win an Amazon gift card. And back on Gears. Thank you guys. Thanks everybody for watching. I hope for the best for the future of Gears of War franchise, the game I love the most. Go ahead, Fatal.
Yeah, so basically, I guess first thing, I just want to give a shout out to everyone. Everyone who gave all the help to help out with the wish list so we can get it done. That was a huge step. So that was awesome. So just thank you everyone for, helping make that happen. Because at least we've, if it doesn't happen for just what all of us as community want, and it's pretty unanimous that most of the people really want all those changes or very close to all of them to happen, so that's great. Second thing, basically I just want to give a quick little shout out to Damification. It's really small, but he gave me some pretty good intel and ideas, like D-pad's not being used at all right now, so he was saying like, oh well, maybe you could use it for call outs, or if you had left on the D-pad you could have left hand with your gun, or right on the D-pad or right on your hand on your gun. So that was after everything with the wish list, so I just wanted to give a little shout out to him for that. So thanks, that was some great input. I really liked it. In regards to, I guess, everything else going on, Epic, I know it's a lot of pressure on you guys right now, and I know you guys got a lot going on, but I just want to give a shout out to you guys. Just try to make it happen. Try to get, try to make all these, little dreams and wishes come true as much as you guys can. I'm rooting for you. I hope you guys can get it done. And other than that, I also got the Reaper this week, so at 11 p.m. if you guys want to tune in, I'll be doing Reaper private matches, viewers, whatever, if you guys want to tune into that, so feel free. And then I guess, yeah, it's all my, shout outs. And if I'm talking really fast because I had coffee, guys, so but yeah, and then Cream, Arctic, Rob, thanks for having me back. It feels good to be back after a couple weeks. It's been a while.
Yeah, thanks for tuning in, everybody. I guess we'll see you next week.
Manifestation.
Not sure what we'll be talking about, but I'm sure we'll make it interesting because we tend to keep it real, like Arctic pointed out last week. That's our job on the show. We try to do our best. Try not to be too negative, but hey, man, times are tough. Don't really know what else there is to talk about right now. So, thanks for tuning in. Shout out to that E-Thug out there thinking he could hit me offline. It's been fun. See you guys next week.